I've been on a journey this year of trying to really connect more with who I am through faith and unlearning behaviors that have been keeping me stuck. We all crave to feel more fulfilled, be happier, and ultimately accomplish our goals. Happiness can be hard to reach when we're constantly on a hamster wheel to get to it. I'll be happy when I get the car or I land the position, or I'll finally be happy when I launch the business or I get married. Then we get it, and now we're seeking something else, and the cycle continues. In this video, I'm sharing 12 ways to improve your life and invite in more joy and intentionality so that you can truly have the best season ever. After going through this year of having a baby, becoming a new mom of two, and closing down my business, and really just going through one of the lowest points of my life, I have been on a journey of just trying to rediscover who I am, getting close to God, and just really trying to figure out how to improve my life, how to find more joy within my days, and just how to make more intentional decisions when it comes to the things that I want to do, because time can be limited, energy can be limited, and I'm all about showing up for things that matter to me and that are going to impact others in a way that will only just improve them and help them. And so I wanted to record this video because as I am preparing for 2026 and starting to think about what my goals are and what I want to do for the year, one of the top things that keep coming to my mind is that I want to experience more joy. I want to seek that first before I'm trying to seek all these other external factors and things that just quite frankly can leave me feeling empty sometimes and don't really fill me up in the way that I think that they're going to. And so I wanted to share 12 different ways to improve your life and really invite in more joy and more intentionality as a new season is approaching, to really give yourself the space and opportunity to grow and to finally do the things on your list and to honestly just smile more and be lighter and to just enjoy your life. That is what this is all about. And so the first way to do this is to accept what was. I don't know about you, but I can harp on some previous seasons of life. You know, first it can just feel like, oh, it's nostalgia, right? Or just trying to think back to great times. But what ends up happening is sometimes we can get so stuck on that, or we can dwell on it so much that it stops us from moving forward and actually realizing what life currently looks like today. And that can be very frustrating, right? When you are thinking about a past version of yourself or just a past version of someone else, because sometimes it may not even be necessarily us. It might be the way that we see someone else and we want them to do things a certain way, or a past season of life where things just felt easier or lighter or more understood. We have to allow space for the grief to happen when we realize that, okay, this chapter has closed. It does not mean that the book is over. It doesn't mean that the dream is not going to happen. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to still fulfill the desires of my heart and the promises from God. But what it does mean is that it's no longer going to look like that. And that's okay. And it's so crazy to just see how so many different versions of ourselves can show up. And we can compare to that, right? We can compare to a version of our life where we were XYZ. And that definitely strips the joy away. And so I encourage you, journal, get out there with community. Find people that are in the same boat as you, especially that might be having similar transitions, and really allow yourself the time to just sit with those thoughts, grieve what was, but understand that you are getting ready to open yourself up to new opportunities. And that is going to be the key to really finding more joy in your life. So you're not holding yourself back because you are still somewhat stuck in the past. Number 2 is to do things for the love, not for the likes. Okay. I am so guilty of this. I'll get ready to do something. I mean, it could be literally something small, and I will be ready for validation from someone else. I'll be ready for someone to let me know, like, oh, I'm so proud to hear you're doing this. Or just different things where I want a certain reaction from someone that I'm sharing something that I'm working on with them, and then I don't get it. And then now I feel slighted, or now I feel like I'm looking at my goal or what I was trying to do differently because I feel like, oh, well, this person didn't respond in this way. And while we do love the people around us, and I think it's important for us to get the support from others. Sometimes it's okay to just do things simply because you love it. It's something that you desire. It's something that's on your heart. It's something that you have heard from God that you're supposed to do. And you don't always have to seek the validation from the world in order to feel like it's something to move forward with, in order to feel like it's good or it's great or it's amazing, right? It's okay to do it for the love of it. And even if it does feel like it's not the most popular thing all of the time, or maybe it doesn't get the most views or the most likes, the fact that you're doing it for the love and you're showing up and you are just giving your all and your best, that is what truly, truly matters. And that is where we will find joy, and we'll be more intentional about the things that we choose to do, because we're not just trying to do it simply for the validation that we get from other people. Even though that's how our world is set up today with social media, and even just down to things that you may do for your kids, or something that you may do for your business. You'll see something that someone else is doing on a feed, right? Whether you consume or you create, and it affects you. It rewires your brain to feel like the thing that you once thought was up here and amazing, it's now just mediocre, and you're trying to figure out how to hit the next thing to make it bigger and better, while you're no longer really doing it for the love of it, but now it's because of the validation. It's because of what you've seen from others. In that, all we're doing is chasing something that we will never quite reach, right? It'll never be quite good enough. And that can, again, it can be draining. And we want to have good energy with all of the things that we're doing. And so it's important to make sure that when you are doing something, you are doing it because you love it, because you believe in it, you stand behind it, and anyone else that wants to get on board and root you on and support you, that all is just a bonus, but it should never be the reason that you're doing something. Number 3 is really just understanding the difference between happiness and joy. A lot of times we will seek happiness and we'll say, oh, I just want to be happy, right? And even in the beginning of this video, I mentioned some different things, like if you're getting a house, or you want to get married, or you want to get that position, it can feel like I'll be happy when XYZ happens. But in reality, that continues to move. That goalpost continues to move, because now you're on to the next thing. And now you want to, okay, I launched that business, but now I want to sell out of this product, and now I want to do this, and now I want to open this store. And it turns into this whole trickle effect to where you are never quite happy, right? Maybe for a moment. And I look at this as just little dopamine hits throughout life. Oh, I paid off this debt. Oh, okay, I got this house. Oh, yes, I finally had my kid. Oh, yes, I got married. Oh, yes, I moved to the big city. And you get these dopamine hits, but then once you settle back into life, you realize that, okay, I want to get into the next thing. I want to hit X number of people. I want to hit X number of subscribers or followers, or I want to make this much money in my business. All of these things are wonderful to reach for, but they only bring happiness for the moment, and then ready to move on to the next thing. And so what God says about us, I think, is so, so important, is just to remember his word and to believe that no matter what, we already have everything we need, just simply because we are his, right? Simply because we are in relationship with him. I think it's important to kind of just rework that thought process a little bit when it comes to seeking happiness, and instead seek deep joy. Because at the end of the day, there's always going to be another milestone that you want to hit. And so instead, try to focus on gratitude and where you are currently in the journey, right? So even if you're trying to get here, what's happening in this journey right now that you can be embracing and loving and being grateful for, and really taking in those moments and understanding that this is the place that you're in right now for a reason. Don't miss it, right? Don't miss it because you are so focused on what's going to be happening in a few years, or once you hit this thing. Don't miss the beauty of the season that you are currently in right now. And down to just like, oh yes, I finally want to get this bag or this car, and then you get it, and it's just the same thing, right? We settle back into life, and then now you want the next thing. And especially if you're scrolling on these feeds and stuff, there's always something that you want to have, right? So many things to be influenced by. And joy is so much deeper than those material things and those milestones, and that's what you want to seek if you're trying to improve your life. Number 4, stop saying yes to things that drain you. This is just very simply put. If it does not light you up, if it is not making you feel all warm inside, it's a no, okay? I think that we all have experienced a time or two where we have said yes to something, whether it be a project or a commitment, or just something that someone has asked us to show up for, even on just like a random Saturday. You're like, oh, well, I was going to do this, but okay, I'll come. And then you just aren't excited about it. And now you're kind of lightweight regretting it. I think it's important for us to honor how we feel, literally like our internal response when someone approaches us with something that they want us to do. Or if there's an idea that comes up even for you, if you're thinking of, you see something, you're like, oh, this would be a great business idea, or, oh, maybe I could try this. And if it's not feeling aligned, if it's not feeling good for you, move on, right? Table it, say no. And sometimes that can be really hard for a lot of us. I know for me, I'm constantly working on reminding myself that no is a complete sentence. But if it is not feeling good for you, don't allow it to take up any of your mental space, your time, your energy, because all it's going to do is suck the joy out of you. All it is going to do is be that thing that you keep saying, why did I say yes to this? Why did I agree to do this? And we don't want that in this new season. We really want to say yes to things that light us up, that really fulfill us and make us excited to get out of the bed to show up and to do. Number 5 is to connect with the Lord. I think it goes without saying that I am definitely a woman of God, and in different seasons, my faith walk has changed. But what I truly love is when I finally get a chance to get into the Word and have an opportunity to read whatever I'm on, whatever book I'm in currently, and do a deep dive on it. So not only just read it, but I have a study Bible, so I love to be able to kind of read the context. Sometimes it'll have extra excerpts that people have written to go along with the scripture, and it just allows for me to connect with it in a new way. I love to go and watch sermons that preach on parts of that book, and really just to understand it in a way that applies to my life and my current situation. And it brings me closer to God. And in that, when I'm struggling, when I'm feeling low, when I'm feeling like I have no idea what I'm doing, what is my purpose? All of these questions that I ask, especially in this journey of just trying to discover who I am in this season of life, God is always there no matter what. He has been there since I was born, and he has been there for you. And connecting with him, even if sometimes it doesn't feel like you may understand what you're reading, or maybe it doesn't feel like it's aligned all of the time, or sometimes it may feel like you don't have the time to do it. I think there's so many things that we can do to truly connect with him and just try our best to understand. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be this aesthetic thing that you do. Sometimes it's just simply me open up the Bible app on my phone and reading the daily verse, right? Anything in order to connect with him, I think is just such an important part of us seeking joy and making sure that that's carried out in every day. Because no matter what, you can seek everything in the world, but he is always going to be a place of peace and a place of comfort and understanding. And even in seasons where things do not feel like they are completely making sense, he will get that for you. So definitely seeking the Lord for sure is going to ultimately bring you so much clarity in a lot of the things that you're trying to do. So the attention will be there, but the joy of just knowing his word and being able to have that in your heart as you go through life and these days and all of these different moments, there's nothing like it. Number 6 is to get up. I think quiet mornings are so underrated. I'm married and I have 2 kids, and there is nothing like getting up before my household. It is quiet. It is peaceful. I don't have to answer anybody's questions, and I get to just kind of do my thing for a little bit, and the earlier the better, right? And so really it's just about getting up. Sometimes it's easier said than done. Personally, I'm struggling right now after dealing with the whole time change and just trying to get back into the swing of things. But what I can say is when I am in a good flow with getting up in the morning, I never regret it. I always regret when I hit snooze, and when I'm waking up along with my family, I always regret that, but I never regret getting up early. I never regret having my quiet time with God, being able to be creative in silence, being able to just hear myself think and process and plan for the day, knock a couple of things off of my to-do list. Just sitting and listening to worship music, whatever it might be. My mornings can look different, but I'm so grateful for them as it allows me to start my day off how I want to start it off versus me kind of reacting to everything that's going to happen now. I get to set the tone for how the day starts, and there is no better joy than that. Number 7 is to embrace life's sweet indulgences. This is going to be different for everybody and what that looks like. I know there are some times where I just love to get outside and go on a walk, get some fresh air, get out in the sun, And there is just nothing better than that feeling, okay? I love having opportunities to just sit and laugh with my daughter and just be silly. Other times it's just me having like a cup of tea and getting a good book and reading. Whatever it is for you, try to seek more of that. And even if you have to schedule it on your calendar, okay? Maybe it might be like a bath, right? Maybe like having a bath or doing a facial of some kind. There's so many different things that we can do that really fills us. There's so many different things that you can do for this, but it's important to start making it happen more. I know a lot of people will talk about like romanticizing your life, and I think that this kind of fits with that, like finding things that almost feel very movie-esque, right? That allow for you to step away from your normal to-dos and different things like that and just get a chance to just reconnect with joy. And I know, like, for example, I homeschool my daughter, and sometimes some of the lessons can get intense, right? For just different reasons. You know, maybe we're just having a long day or an off day. And I love when we finally just get a moment and you're like, you know what? Let's just scrap what we're doing. Let's get outside. Or you know what? Let's just go ahead and just snuggle up and watch a movie today. And those are the moments that we'll remember, that she'll remember as she gets older, because it allows for you to just kind of like reset your nervous system a bit and to just take a break from the things that are stressing you, that are just weighing you down sometimes, and just reconnecting with joy, like I said, which I think is such an important part of this. And so what is it for you? Comment down below. What are some of the little sweet indulgences that you love to just embrace? And if you're on a journey of really just trying to improve your life as well, this is a very easy way to do it. A very low lift way to do it is just to simply start doing little things here and there throughout your day that just give you joy. Number 8 is taking care of your health. I know for me, I'm now in my mid-30s, y'all, and the older I get, the more I realize that I'm not a spring chicken, okay? The back be hurting sometimes, be having all kind of ailments going on. I notice certain foods that I eat don't settle in the same way. I also have like some different like dietary things that happen sometimes, just like when I eat gluten and stuff, I don't really feel the best. And so I try to avoid it, but then there are times when I abuse that and I will eat a ton of it and then I feel like crap. And so for me, improving my life is definitely going to be being a lot more selective about how I take care of my body and how I'm able to really support my future self, right? The self that as I get older, to just be able to continue to show up for my kids, to be able to run around, to be able to be active and be around for a long time. I want to do that and to prioritize my health. And even though it doesn't always feel easy, even though I be wanting to eat like 4 or 5 cookies, right? Or I be wanting to finish that pint of ice cream. Like, I mean, this is just real stuff, right? I think that I personally am trying to just get on more of a path of prioritizing taking care of my health. And I mean health in all areas, my mental health, my spiritual health, as well as my physical health, and just figuring out what that looks like for me. And for everybody, that's going to be different. We all have a different level of what we are wanting to do, but I just encourage you to take care of yourself. Like, we want you around for the long haul. And sometimes making those different decisions will be such a game changer, such a life-changing thing. And I know even for me, when I'm like more active and I move my body more, even though in the moment I don't feel like it, I always feel good for doing it. And what better joy is it than that, right? To be able to feel good, you know, you're putting good things into your body, you're moving your body in a way that is only going to benefit you. And it just overall, it helps so much. So, and I'm saying this to myself as well. So make the appointments, choose better options when it comes to just your habits and the things that you may indulge in from time to time. And overall, just try to take better care of yourself because we only get this one body, and we definitely want to do our best to try to love it as much as we can. Number 9 is to fill your cup. I know you have heard time and time again the phrase of can't pour from an empty cup. And yes, it's so true. You can't. And so of all of these things that I've mentioned, I think these all will fill your cup. But I really wanted to mention this as a separate point, especially for my moms out there, that it is not selfish to fill your cup. If anything, it is selfless because it's allowing for you to show up for yourself, whatever that looks like, to do the things that matter, whether it's some kind of self-care thing or, it's focusing time on some of your dreams and the things that you want to do. It's only going to make you a better version of yourself to show up for those in your life that you are assigned to help, right? That you're assigned to, whether that is your kids or your coworkers or your friends, your family. This is such an important thing to do, because if we don't allow the time for ourselves to get filled, how are we ever going to be able to then turn that over and be able to show up for everyone else? It works for a while, but eventually, you're going to hit that wall and you're going to feel tired. You're going to feel burnt out and you're going to be feeling left empty, right? Because you're going to be like, well, what about me? And so it doesn't have to be like that. So definitely fill your cup, especially if you are trying to improve your life. Your cup needs to not only be filled, but it can be overflowed. And that is going to be with all of these different things that I've mentioned on this list, because we all are so different of what fill your cup means for you. But whatever that means for you, remove the guilt. Remove the feeling of, I could never, do these things, or I have too much other stuff going on. Make time for you. Make room for you. It is such a necessary thing for us to do that. And I am here if you need the permission, okay? I am here to give you the permission slip to finally make that a thing for yourself, whether it is time blocked off for a couple of hours, if it is a full day, if it is a full weekend, if you're taking a trip or something, whatever it might be, fill your cup, okay? Fill your cup. Number 10 is to invest in your dreams. And I mean this through your time, your energy, as well as your money. It can be very easy for us to put off the things that we desire just simply because we don't know a lot about how to get started. We maybe don't have all the resources that we need, or we make the excuse of, I don't have enough time, right? And in all these different areas, there is a certain situation where it's like, okay, I get it, give yourself the time to work through it. But at some point, you have to be willing to start. And you have to realize that it's not all going to be lined up and perfect right at step 1 in order for you to get to step 10. But you can still start doing small things right now to get there. And a great example of this is starting a business, because this is something that I've talked about for years here on this channel. You can start a business with very little to no money, right? Especially nowadays online, there are so many different resources and ways to get started for free in order to create a side hustle, start showing up for yourself, eventually grow a brand. But we all get so caught up in, I don't know, I don't really have enough time. I don't really know if I have enough money. I really want to get a better camera. I really want to be able to do this. I wish I had more time. And what it really comes down to is just us getting in our own way. In order to improve your life, if you are continuing to ignore the desires and the things that have been on your heart and in your mind, and you continue to write it down on your vision board and on your list of goals every year, and it just continues to get pushed to the side, this is your wake-up call to realize that you can do this, right? You can make this happen. You can, even with the limited resources, the limited knowledge. There's no excuse, because we have an information overload right at our fingertips. So you can get all of the things you need. There's so many different people here online that are willing to support you and help you and have been there before as well. And so don't allow this to be the reason that you don't move forward. So if that feels like you, pray about it, seek God. Do whatever it is you need to do to remove some of those strongholds that are stopping you, and go for it. Number 11, and I think it's very important, is to inspire others. I know for me, one of the biggest ways that I'm able to just get fulfillment of life and joy is showing up for other people and helping people. I have loved this for years, especially even just this channel is such a big part of my purpose, and I love being able to help women to really see their potential and to realize that they can make things happen, right? They can do these things that feel big and scary and unknown. And I find so much fulfillment in that, and I'm so grateful to be able to have this platform over the years, even though it has pivoted and changed in so many ways. But I encourage you to figure out what your thing is. I believe that we are all placed here for a specific reason, and we have a specific group of people that we are assigned to help. And the more that we continue to put it off, or we feel like we don't know enough, we don't have enough, we're not experienced enough, oh, my testimony is not grandiose enough, you are literally pausing someone else's potential because you don't want to show up and share what you have inside, right? Your story, your experience, the things that you clearly know you're good at, right? And you are just continuing to hold those gifts to yourself. In the meantime, you could be blessing someone with it. And so inspiring people is such a great way to get joy in your life. And there's so much purpose behind it because you truly get to see the fruits of the things that you have been through in your life, right? All of the storms or the hardships, the setbacks, the things that felt very messy when you were going through them could be the very thing that could help someone else be successful, to get out of their own way, to finally see themselves, to just feel loved again, to feel understood, to know that they can do it too. Do not sit on your story any longer. Do not allow yourself to feel like you don't have enough within you in order to share. I promise you there is so much joy in showing up for other people, even down to me being a mom and the level of joy that I get from just the small little moments and the lessons and things I try to instill in my daughter. And even in the moment, sometimes I'll be like, I don't know if it's resonating right. And then it might be weeks later and she'll say something or she'll do something and I'll be like, okay, I'm making a difference. Things are sticking, things are working, and there's so much joy in that. And I'm just so grateful for those moments, those winks from God that allow me to be like, okay, I'm on the right track. So take those things, share, put it out there, and inspire others. And number 12, in ways to improve your life, to invite in more joy and more intentionality, is to just give yourself some grace, okay? Give yourself some space to grow and understand that none of us have a play-by-play on the right way to handle every situation in every moment and to know every single thing that we're supposed to do at all times, right? We're going to make mistakes. We're going to say the wrong things, whether that be in parenting, in marriage, at work, online, in business, friendships, relationships, just the things that we do from day to day. Nothing is going to be perfect. And the sooner that you're able to accept that narrative, the easier it'll be for you to improve your life. I know I am so guilty of always saying, I got to get my life together. I got to get my life together. That's like one of my favorite phrases to say. And what I'm starting to realize is when I say that, it's almost like I'm saying, well, my life is just not good enough right now, right? Or I am in some ways feeling some shame around where I'm currently at. And so I need to get out of it instead of embracing right where I'm at, seeking the joy, the gratitude, and all of the things, and understanding that I may not be perfect in all of my days. I'm not perfect in all of my days, but I try to do the best that I can. A lot of that is going to come from just simply reading the word, right? Getting in the Bible, having honest conversations with people, and just trying to do the best that we can. But when we're so hard on ourselves and just constantly trying to seek this invisible thing of getting my life together, I don't know what that means when I say that because I feel like I say it so much, but it's just give yourself the grace, right? Allow yourself to grow and just be, right? There's so many things going on around us in this world and no one knows how to navigate all of this. So many things have been thrown our way, from social media to the different interactions that we deal with on a daily basis, whether that be online, in person, on top of just trying to figure out how to be the best version of ourselves. It can be very easy to feel overwhelmed and intimidated and to feel small and to feel like I'm not doing enough, I'm not good enough. But allow yourself the space to grow and just know that you're going to be a lifelong learner. You're not going to have it all together, and that's okay. But there's joy in that, right? There's joy in accepting the messiness of life and realizing that none of us have it figured out. Even if it looks like somebody does, they don't. And that is something that we tend to forget, especially as we scroll and we see the lives of other people. It can be very easy to compare and feel like you're not doing enough, but my friend, I promise you that you are. Continue being you, continue showing up, continue doing the best that you can. And if you make a mistake, if you do something that you are just like, well, why did I do that, right? Just remember that it is okay, because we are all learning alongside of you. Enjoy this video, definitely give it a thumbs up and subscribe so that you get notified when I post more videos like this. I am so excited to just share more content about preparing for the new year, goal setting, and really just how we can continue to show up as our best selves in these new seasons, through these transitions, and just trying to just do the best that we can, right? That is what it's all about. So I will see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.